Hello and welcome to day 18 of my 365-day iPhone video challenge. Yesterday we talked about the time perspectives of the past. Today we're going to talk about present hedonism and present fatalism. Now, living in the present is deemed a good thing. However, if you're a present hedonist, generally you spend your time not considering the future or the past, just living in the moment, enjoying yourself, seeking pleasure. The downside potentially of that is you can have an addictive behavior and you can spend a lot of your time trying to avoid any pain that you might have to suffer. Present fatalism is slightly different in terms of you think that none of your actions in the present will have any positive effect in the future, and therefore you don't attempt to change your future or control your future because you think it will make no difference anyway. And that could be because of your socio-economic situation. It could be where you've grown up, long-term unemployed. It could be all kinds of different reasons for that. And the thing is, living in the present is often considered to be a good thing, and it is. People say, we shouldn't always be worrying about the future, worrying about what we're doing next, etc., etc. We should be more living in the present, and there's an awful lot of talk about mindfulness. When you ask people what mindfulness is, they have various different descriptions about living in the present, and it's useful. I'm not a huge fan of mindfulness. I prefer mindlessness, where I like to get lost in something, whether it be a book or a task, or if I'm walking the dog, just thinking about the moment. The things that I often hear myself say, because sometimes I can be quite future orientated, is when I go on holiday, I'm in a beautiful place and I say something like, "Ooh, this is beautiful. I'd like to come back here one day." And I'm already projecting myself into the future. Stop it. Enjoy the here and now. Enjoy the situation. You're here now. Enjoy it now. It's beautiful now. Enjoy it now. The other thing that I like to think about is for a present orientated person, there's a saying that a bird in the hand is worth more than two in the bush, i.e. we'll take the present, we'll take the £100 now, then wait for potential £150 in 2 weeks' time. The famous experiment, or the marshmallow experiment, where having a marshmallow now is better than wasting 20 minutes and potentially having 2 marshmallows. I like to view the world in a slightly different way, that a bird in the hand is not necessarily worth more than 2 in the bush. Sometimes it's better to hold out and wait and see what happens, and you don't need to have the instant gratification that you normally have now. The other thing that I often think about being in the present is that for many of us, the editor, the voice in our head, this constant chatter of thought in our head, it's all right to have thoughts or be anxious, but it's very easy to get caught into rumination, constantly thinking about what's going on in your head. Sometimes you can just go, I feel anxious, I feel upset, I'm angry, I accept that. I'm now going to put my focus on something else, whether it be on a walk, on a task, whether it be doing a jigsaw, playing Lego, reading a book, colouring a book, whatever it is that you want to do. Just accept it. Accept that what's going on in your head and move on. And finally, or the 2 final things. One, great if you're a multitasker. Don't need to be a multitasker. Sometimes just be a unitasker. Just focus on the one thing. Don't worry about having to focus on more than 2 things, 2, 3 things, 4 things at a time. Don't be on your phone while walking the dog. Don't be checking email while you're on the train. Just go now. Just do one thing. Focus on one thing. And if you are very present focused and you're trying to move into a more future focus, a really simple technique is break it into a very small task, into an obtainable goal, maybe a challenge, but at least make it obtainable, and then just focus on that for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, Doesn't matter, a small amount of time. Do that and then give yourself a reward, whether it's a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, a cake, whatever it is. So something that you need to do for the future, whether it's your tax, whether it's planning for a new job role, whether it's learning a new skill, whatever it is, do it for a few minutes and then give yourself a little reward, and each time stretch that time out longer and longer so you get used to doing things that are beneficial for your future. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.